So now we're going to talk about how to defend against the Rafael Nadal special, and we're going to use the Federer-Nadal exchange to illustrate how this all plays out on the Pro Tour, because there are a lot of lessons to be learned from this matchup here. Now, the first thing really to consider in terms of the Rafael Nadal special, Rafa is going cross court, he's tapping into the high strike zone, and he's using trajectory, and he's tapping into hitting while moving, trying to get you off the court, and ideally get Federer hitting a backhand while he's moving. So the first thing to be aware of is when this exchange first gets established, if you can hit your backhands more through the court, okay, so typically you're like, well, you want to hit really cross court. Well, if you actually don't do that, if you go through the court more, then you shut down the angles that your opponent has to work with. If you really go cross court, then that opens up the angle for your opponent to really hurt you. So then your opponent can really send this thing cross court and get you off the court. So by going more through the court, you can really shut down your opponent's ability to take advantage of the moving horizontally factor against you. So you eliminate that one from the equation. You still obviously have to deal with the high strike zone trajectory and so on, but you've gotten rid of one of them. And you might be concerned, well, if I'm hitting it there, does my opponent now have more of an opportunity to use the Agassi method against me because they're in the middle of the court and it's safer to change direction? Sure, of course they have more of an opportunity now. But if your opponent is like Rafa, in the sense that they really like this exchange, it's unlikely they are going to try and check out of it. So obviously something to test and see if they go down the line, but they're probably going to be sending that cross court and trying to keep it their strength to your weakness. This is something I do a lot. I really, on my backhand side, if we put the lefty down here and my opponent's coming cross court at me, I really go through the court because I don't want to be hitting a backhand while moving. That's where I really start to leave it short. So if we bring it back to the righty over here, another thing you can do, and this is predicated on your ability to hit a really good running forehand. So if you don't have this shot, then you can't really do this, but you can start cheating over into the corner so that you don't have to move as far when your opponent hits a quality wide one, and you actually might be able to hit some forehands as well and send them down the line. But you have to be able to hit well while moving to your forehand. Hit that running reverse forehand that Rafa's good at. Federer's good at it too. So Federer can cheat over a little bit, but obviously it's at the pro level, and with Rafa's forehand so good, this doesn't work great for him. But if you were able to hit that running forehand well, then you can expose a lot of court more than you normally would. Try and almost goad your opponent to go down the line, and you'll be able to manage it quite well. So that's something I do. That's something I would encourage you to do as well if you are able to hit that shot. Again, you have to be able to basically be on the dead run and hit a reverse forehand and hit a quality shot cross court. Now the other ways to neutralize this play is you're going to take a backhand and you're going to send it up the line. So this is the you're checking out, you're forcing a reset on your opponent. So this backhand comes up the line here. Now, if you watch the Federer and Nadal matches, Roger is extremely selective about when he goes up the line. He's trying to go up the line as much as possible, right? Any opportunity, but he's got to be really careful because the power of the Rafael Nadal special, particularly when you're tapping into the high strike zone with the trajectory and so on, hard to take the ball on the rise, right? You're taking it high, you're letting it get up, taking it high because it's hard to take it early. And if you don't hit a quality shot here, that of course is going to set up a point-ending opportunity. Oh, there's a P. Point-ending opportunity for your opponent if you leave it short. So here's a situation where you have to be very aware of your ability to handle the various factors to go up the line, and then say, okay, here's a cross-court shot from my opponent where these factors are prevalent. Prevalent, that's the word I'm looking for. Are prevalent, and I can take this one. I can take this one up the line. So, you know, part of it, if you combine going more through the court on the backhand, and you eliminate the moving while hitting, this is really tough to take that up the line. So if you eliminate that, then basically you can start looking at what strike zones you can manage and trajectories you can manage to send that up the line and hit a quality enough shot where your opponent now should send this ball cross court, and if they try and redirect it back up the line, you know, the odds of them hitting a great shot are diminished, so then you'd be able to step in and rip it back cross court and be happy to rip it cross court because you're forcing them to move. You got that angle, maybe get some power in there. So even though you're going at their stronger side, you're not actually putting them back in the RNadal special in their favor because they've got so much court exposed over here. Also worth noting that, you know, the surface is going to matter for you. So like the reason this works so well on clay is because the ball is always high in the strike zone for Federer. The trajectory is quite steep off the court, and it's also why, you know, on like a faster court where the ball stays low, it's more of a, you know, strike zone medium. It's easier for Fed to redirect the ball, and because the court is quicker, the pace is going to be higher, and thus the time his opponent, you know, Rafa has to move over to this ball is diminished, so his shots become a little bit more effective as well. So I would certainly take the court into consideration when making your decision on when to check out of this cross-court exchange and go up the line.